I need about 350.
A senior WHO official has raised hackles in Taiwan by appearing to dodge questions about Taiwan's exclusion from the World Health Body. During an interview via video chat with a Hong Kong media outlet, Bruce Aylward, a Canadian epidemiologist, remained silent for about 10 seconds when asked if the WHO should reconsider Taiwan's membership. After their video hookup appeared to be disconnected, the interviewer called him back. This time, Aylward declared that if he had contracted the coronavirus, he would want to be treated in China.
WHO considered Taiwan's membership. Hello?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I couldn't hear your question.
Okay, yeah. Let me repeat the question.
No, that's okay. Let's move to another one then.
When Aylward was asked about Taiwan, he stalled for close to 10 seconds and avoided a reporter's question. But the reporter persisted.
I'm actually curious on talking about Taiwan as well, on Taiwan's case.
We decided to give Dr. Aylward another call to follow up.
And I just want to see if you can comment a bit on how Taiwan has done so far in terms of containing the virus.
Well, we've already talked about China.
Aylward is an Assistant Director General at the WHO and is a Canadian-trained epidemiologist. Ever since the pandemic broke out, he has constantly sung China's praises.
I left inspired and with a deep admiration for, the common Chinese people that I worked with. If I had COVID-19, I want to be treated in China.
Lin Shejia, the CEO of the Foundation of Medical Professionals Alliance, lamented that the WHO has been deeply poisoned by Chinese influence. He said he believed that once the pandemic was over, each nation would seriously consider how to reform these kinds of international organisations that have been heavily infiltrated by China.
I don't care. Why would I care about being attacked when people are dying? And if you want me to be specific, 3 months ago, this attack came from Taiwan. We need to be honest. I will be straight today. And Taiwan, the foreign ministry or so, they know the campaign. They didn't dissociate themselves. They even started criticizing me in the middle of all that insult and slur. 3 months. I say it today because it's enough. We're losing lives every minute. My focus is saving lives.
Japan's public broadcaster NHK on Wednesday asked WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus to answer recent criticism over the WHO's exclusion of Taiwan and its handling of Taiwan's early coronavirus warning. Notably, Dr. Tedros chose not to respond to the question, leaving the mic to other officials at the daily press briefing.
Dr. Tedros, U.S. Department of State says early information by Taiwan on isolated treatment in Wuhan was withheld from global community by WHO. They also criticized WHO for choosing politics over global health. How do you respond?
A reporter for Japan's NHK directed a question at Tedros on the touchy subject of Taiwan, but the WHO Director General did not answer, letting a colleague speak instead.
Multiple sources of reports on the 31st of December regarding a cluster of cases of atypical pneumonia in Wuhan, China. In fact, they emanated from a press release or a publication on the website of the Wuhan Health Authority. WHO then, who moved to formally verify that signal through our country office with the government authorities in China.
The executive director of the WHO Health Emergencies Program said Chinese authorities had disclosed early information on the epidemic. He said it was that and not Taiwanese reports that prompted the WHO to look into the matter. Despite rising support from countries for Taiwan to join the organization, the WHO said it would continue adhering to the One China principle.
In 1971, the countries of the United Nations decided to recognize the People's Republic of China as the only legitimate representative of China. In 1972, the member states of the World Health Organization decided in Resolution 25.1 to do the same thing. So we are in the hands of countries on these issues. WHO staff doesn't have the mandate or power to change that.
The legal officer said Taiwan's participation in the WHO came down to the 194 UN member states. Taiwan, as the ROC, had been one of the founding members of the WHO in 1948.
I had the opportunity to brief scientists and public health professionals from Taiwan, and it's always a wonderful opportunity to exchange with any frontline workers, anyone who's involved with this pandemic, to learn from them.
One after the other, the WHO officials weighed in on NHK's question. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs responded to the comments in a statement on Thursday. The ministry condemned the remarks, saying that the WHO Secretariat had misquoted the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 2758 and the World Health Assembly Resolution 25.1. The ministry stressed that the resolutions did not authorize the People's Republic of China to represent Taiwan in UN bodies. It added that only Taiwan's democratically elected administration had the right to represent Taiwan's 23 million inhabitants on the international stage.